When they fall, we rise.
Knock, knock. I'm here, Mr. Pathfinder. Did you have...
I say we
Just
land
thought
here.
we could land here.
Trust your senses.
Serving him a knuckle sandwich. Letting rip. Broke that enemy shield.
Attention. First blood.
Sending out another me. Damn, he's good looking.
First blood. The battle begins.
Joker here.
Fire them.
Firing. Broke that enemy shield.
Enemy down. More enemy knuckle cluster. Broke that enemy shield. Clown here. Down.
5 low.
Give him my shield to recharge.
Help's coming.
Reloading. Ladies and gentlemen, here to save the day. Just relax. I got everything under control.
Healing my wounds.
Recharging me shields.
Taking a moment to heal.
Healing up. You'll be right.
Triple take here.
Hands off. That's a Prezi for Fusey.
Already in the next ring. I smell victory. It smells kind of like...
Attention.
Bam! Bam!
Leader.
Whatever, guess I'm running out of ideas.
Got it.
Nothing on my sleeves and... Wait, clown spotted out here. What I was doing.
Bless me with sight.
New kill leader appointed.
I'm taking fire. Taking a moment to heal.
Got one spotted. Yeah, I think this place needs a little more... me.
Attention.
You got bamboozled.
Package.
Laser sight here. Level 3.
Care package on high.
They're shooting at me.
Heal.
Front that enemy shield.
Bam! That guy over there.
Deploying me knuckle cluster. Dropping the mother load. Mind your heads.
Arcstar out. Sending out another me. Damn, he's good looking.
Juicing me shields.
Healing. I'll walk it off. here.
Deploying me knuckle cluster.
Get bamboo first.
Knuckle cluster.
Bad news, shot down.
I downed the hostile.
Enemy killed.
Reload.
Enemy killed.
Got one here.
Taking a moment to heal.
He's got it. Strike that enemy. Reloading. Enemy squad's dead. On your feet, mate.
Recharging shields.
Half the squads remain.
1 sec, healing up.
Without an upgrade, I will be at
Shotgun
a
bolt here.
disadvantage.
Level 4.
New kill leader. Soon to be me.
Taking a moment to heal.
Shotgun bolt here. Level 4. Optics here. Close range.
Praise the All Father.
Optics
I
here.
leveled up and have been
Mid-range.
offered an upgrade.
Backpack here. Level 3.
If I wish to be richer, I should select an upgrade.
Bam! Bam. I guess I'm running out of ideas.
Phoenix kid here. Optics here. Mid-range.
I'm taking fire.
Heads up, got one here. Shot fired, and they're hitting me.
Deploying me knuckle cluster. Firing.
I bathe in the blue.
Broke that enemy shield.
Reloading.
Figuring out my decoy.
Let us catch them unaware.
Juicing me shields. Healing. I'll walk it off. Enemy here.
Throwing hostile. Frag out. Getting shot at.
Gonna be shooting at me. Stand back. Knuckle cluster firing. Funnel load incoming. This guy's about to fall. Broke that enemy shield. Knuckle cluster out.
Big amount of joy.
Frag grenade set. Healing my wounds.
They're shooting at me.
I am falling.
Recharging me shields.
1 minute until close. Range nearby.
Hostile right here.
Getting shot at. Enemy shield cracked. Reloading.
Let rip. Knuckle cluster out. Reload. Shooting at me. I'm down.
Shots fired, and they're hitting me. Decoy escape deployed.
Hostile spotted.
No support. That's a shame.
Gotta fire my soul. I've lost my faith in this broken system. Got love for my home. But if we cry, is there anyone listening? What a forgotten generation. We want an open conversation.
Another F1 weekend, another qualifying crash, and Sergio Perez has just one Hungary, as he was even talking in terms of trying to is whether he was term option. Break with data from another F1 weekend, another qualifying crash, and Sergio Perez has just one more race to convince Red Bull not to drop him mid-season ahead of critical talks in the summer break. Red Bull's points lead was slashed by McLaren in the Hungarian Grand Prix, and its need to close out the Constructors' Championship in particular is why a drastic driver change is being so seriously considered for the rest of 2024. Nothing is being decided before the August break, so Perez does still have the Belgian Grand Prix to build on the shoots of recovery seen in Hungary. Perez produced what Red Bull feels was his best race performance in 3 months to recover from 16th to 7th, but the fact he needed to recover at all means his team bosses are still far from convinced that he can be the reliable driver they need to win both titles this season. That's why Red Bull has been drawing up contingency plans for the rest of this year and for 2025, and that really could mean dropping Perez, with Daniel Ricciardo emerging as the leading candidate to replace him. Even though Perez recently signed a new contract keeping him at the team until the end of 2026, that always had performance clauses to meet and the potential to be bought out. The situation is extremely fluid, partly because Red Bull has multiple drivers it could replace Perez with, even if none of them are stunningly convincing in the circumstances, and it's been trying to deal with this situation while coming under more pressure on track. That's left Red Bull working through its driver options on the fly, with team boss Christian Horner and motorsport advisor Helmut Marko having different preferences, meaning one week it's Liam Lawson being talked up, the next it's Yuki Tsunoda, and most recently it's Ricciardo. That's why Red Bull wants to get to the break with data from the last Grand Prix of the first part of the season to make a decision free from the rapidly changing variables of a race weekend. That means one more race for the drivers currently on the grid to stake their respective claims. Ricciardo is essentially in an all-or-nothing position. He could be in the Red Bull after the summer break, or may lose his RB seat for 2025. How quickly Red Bull's considerations are changing was actually hinted at indirectly by Ricciardo in Hungary, as he was even talking in terms of trying to save his RB seat, let alone gun for Perez's. Ricciardo said he'd not been told anything by Red Bull, although it is believed a few races ago he'd been given the summer break as a deadline to make the strongest case he could. What he probably didn't know, as he alluded to, is whether he was trying to save his skin for 2025 or trying to make himself a candidate to replace Perez. We have to admit a Red Bull seat for Ricciardo seemed so unlikely until very recently, because he'd largely unimpressed this year alongside Yuki Tsunoda in the second Red Bull team. But the reason Ricciardo's now being seriously considered for the top team again is because of the general trend of the last few events and a feeling that he is actually the most dependable short-term option. Ricciardo has compared well to Tsunoda from the Canadian Grand Prix onwards, scoring 6 points to Tsunoda's 3, and felt poor strategy cost him another chance to score in Hungary. This hasn't been a stunning turnaround, but it has helped give Red Bull bosses more faith in him, and crucially, it's coincided with Red Bull's championship reality becoming crystal clear. Perez has scored just 21 points in the last 7 events, and Red Bull's been fortunate not to have come under more championship pressure as Ferrari's faltered and McLaren is still battling back from a slow-ish start to the season. But McLaren just outscored Red Bull big time with its 1-2 in Hungary, and that's rammed home how quickly Red Bull could be caught if it continues to only have one car scoring good points or any points at all. It's reiterated the need for a dependable second driver, as winning the Constructors' Championship is a huge priority for Red Bull. It's of massive importance to the team, and one factor even being considered is that it's the difference of thousands of pounds in bonuses for each team member. That's where the preference for Ricciardo comes from. He's an experienced driver, so should handle the high pressure situation well. And he's performing at a good level again, so can support Verstappen effectively, especially as the RB20 should be compatible enough with his driving style to get the best out of him. Special Pirelli Academy tyres that aren't on the same level as F1 race tyres. Nonetheless, we understand Red Bull had a reference lap time from Verstappen for Lawson to be compared against, and that Lawson's pace was in the window the team needed it to be. This basically means within a few tenths of Verstappen, which is where Perez was at for the first quarter of the season when he was regularly scoring podiums. It was initially thought after this test that Lawson had put himself in a great position to be promoted in place of Perez after the summer break, especially as Red Bull needs to secure a race seat for Lawson by September, even if it is for 2025 or he becomes a free agent. The intention would be for Lawson to improve as he builds experience and confidence, but score points at a good rate from the start, even if he is near or right at the back of the lead group of 8 cars. After all, that is the best Perez has offered over the last 7 races, and he even failed to score points in 3 of them. But things have changed the more the situation has been considered. While Lawson is regarded as a driver of high potential, one argument against putting him in the car for the rest of 2024 is how much that would ask of a young driver who has been on the sidelines this year. The high stakes that are putting Perez on the brink mid-season also mean handing his seat to a wildcard choice would be very risky. Getting close to Verstappen is no easy task, even for an experienced driver with good knowledge of all the tracks and familiarity with the car itself. Lawson has none of that in his favour. Some feedback within Red Bull is that Lawson's pace and self-confidence would at least protect him from suffering the same fate as Perez's predecessors Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. But Red Bull doesn't need a young driver with a high ceiling in the short term. It needs a consistent option for the final 10 races after the break who can help get the title over the line. And if it turns to Ricciardo to offer that, Lawson could take his seat at RB, so Red Bull can re-evaluate him alongside Tsunoda in that environment over half a season. Lawson would then be in contention to take the Red Bull Racing drive full-time in 2025 if he impressed and if Ricciardo struggled. Or he could continue for a full season at RB if Ricciardo performs strongly enough alongside Verstappen to earn an extended stay. Yuki Tsunoda has largely outperformed Ricciardo at RB this season, even though the battles gradually become more even, but he isn't in line for an immediate promotion.
Yang
Like
bisnis
Lawson,
bisa
he
nih
has
Dan,
been
tapi
recently
juara
tipped as
1000
a
nggak jadi.
contender for Perez's seat in 2025. It's thought that Tsunoda is Red Bull Motorsport advisor Helmut
Udah
Marko's
gitu anjir,
favourite,
semalam
and
lu
that
700
Marko
ribu
would do
mahal
that
anjir.
mid-season if it was down to him. Previously, it
Gak
was.
jelas,
Many a Red
dodol
Bull driver
banget
career
nih.
has lived and died
itu.
on the old Austrian's whim. But the internal fight for control at Red Bull over the last year or more has
Buat mama
resulted in power shifting towards Horner when it comes to
makan
driver
apaan?
choice, even though Marko remains in charge of the
Pakai
junior
apa?
program itself. The doubts over Tsunoda seem to be
Hah?
off-track
Gimana?
issues, given his performances on it are more consistent than ever. And he has often been
Pakai
a strong
nasi kan,
leader
udah
for
nasi
RB
kan?
when Ricciardo, the
Itu
more
ayam.
experienced driver, should really be showing him the way.
Belum.
Tsunoda's attitude, his approach,
Yo.
and his capacity to deal with the pressure
Iya.
of being in a top team alongside Verstappen
Itu
are
sih,
all
itu Paul belum makan.
unofficially cited
Paul
by
aja
Red
mah.
Bull insiders as reasons why he's being overlooked.
Gak usah.
There was even a crude and
Udah
slightly
makan
unfair
tadi,
suggestion that anything Tsunoda helps win the team financially by finishing first in the Constructors'
Nih,
Championship would be
bikinin
offset by
telur
crash
aja.
damage. Rightly or wrongly, that is
Telur.
unfortunately the reality that Tsunoda
Yo.
seems to face. At the very
Yeah.
least, there's significant enough reservations
Yeah,
from the management of the team to make a Tsunoda promotion a definite long shot. He will almost certainly only
Iya,
be
kalau
Verstappen's
mau
teammate
nih,
in the
menurut
unlikely
gua,
event that Perez is dropped.
pesan hotel yang
Ricciardo's a
bintang 3,
terrible
harganya
replacement,
300
and Lawson
ribuan,
absolutely
dah.
bombs wherever he
Terus
slots in.
isinya
So,
isi apa?
Baik, belum kelar ya. Lanjut teman, maaf.
Ya pesennya yang king atau yang queen. Di situ bisa berempat atau nggak bertiga. Kalau misalkan kurang, baru pesen extra bed. Gitu aja.
Ya udah ajarin mah.
Ajarin gua aja.
Ajarin mau yang sering nyewa hotel sejam
3 jam ya minimal aja.
bentar amat 3 jam.
Bahaya banget ini mah. Nice
Let's
banget.
go. We can go along with the class. Pusing kepala gua deh.
Kok lu keluar ya? Ini enggak sih?
Mall Taman Anggrek ya Dan?
Iya,
Flashing.
flashing. Jadi lu jangan main
Then
segame
you're going to
doang
want
udah
to take
aja
this
tungguin
command,
di
which is
counter.
inscription. You're going to want to paste that into that box, close that, click play, launch CS2, and then you're going to want these. You're going to want to paste that into that box, close that.
Launch option. Ini main wingman, woi. Memento, assembly map aja ya, ada map baru coy, fanpack. Selling mall kalau ini mau dapetnya. Mall.
Wait.
Kalau dapat Sterling mau coba mau. Entar lihat mau. Main apa kali? Wingman. Nyobain. Sambil nunggu uji.
Ya maaf. Anjir gelapuk mulu cok, nembak orang.
Uji gede banget cok MMA-nya cok. Belasan ribu ini. Kan boleh Ji.
Susah banget anjing.
Tapi kan lu nggak buat fake.
Sekarang buat track kali.